Good afternoon, everyone. So it's a great pleasure to meet all of you in this afternoon. So today we are about to start our distinguished lecture number 3 of the 5th series. So today topics will be on trends in open, distance and online learning in Indonesia with a specific reference to University of Terbuka. So we have a very good experienced professor from Indonesia, Professor Aminuddin Suhairi, so who has been in the industry for more than 33 years, with mostly in management and quality assurance and different areas. So I think it's a privilege for us to have a very good session with him. Just to start, so I will just read his experience and his work in the university. Aminuddin Suhairi is a senior lecturer in open and distance education and has had over 33 years of experience in research, teaching, and management of open university system at University of Terbuka, Indonesia. He has served in various management responsibilities in University of Terbuka, including Vice Rector for Information System and Student Services from 2011 to 2018, Head of Institute of Learning Materials Development, Examination, and Information System from 2008 to 2011, and Head of Quality Assurance Center from 2001 to 2008, and the other duties. He earned a PhD in Administrative Higher and Adult Education Studies from University of New England, Australia, 1995, and MED in Distance Education Management from Simmer Fraser University, Canada, 1988. BEd in English Language Teaching from Universities Negeri Semarang, Indonesia, 1984. And a graduate certificate in Quality Assurance for Higher Education from University Twin, Netherlands, 2002. So as I initially mentioned, so in a nutshell, so he has 33 years of experience, so vast experience in administration, quality assurance, as well as academic things. So I think it's a very high privilege for us to invite Professor Aminuddin Suhairi for this wonderful afternoon. So he has been with us for last 4 weeks with us in Open University, and he has been studying and finding what are the areas that we can learn each other from Indonesia to OUSL, and he will be presenting to the management on next Monday what are the areas that we can work together. So with great pleasure, so may I invite Professor Aminuddin to start and do his presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Tusara Priyadarsana. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues from the Open University of Sri Lanka, and participants from wherever you are when you have access online, it is a privilege and an honor for me to have the opportunity to share with you some of the experiences in trends in open distance and online learning in Indonesia, and we would like to share with you based on the experiences that we have in Indonesia with a specific reference to my institution, that is Universitas Terbuka, or the Open University of Indonesia. As Dr. Tusara has mentioned, this is my 4th week in OUSL through the OUSL Fellowship, Exchange Fellowship, and it's great pleasure that we can share and learn together what we are doing in the area, in the practice of our open distance and online learning system. I would like to start the presentation with the outline of what I'm going to share with you. First, we will be talking about briefing on open and distant learning, and then specifically on educational technology, and I will also be sharing with you open and distant learning in Indonesia and how we address needs for higher education for the Indonesian context, which is certainly different from Sri Lanka. And then we will share with you some of our experiences in running our open university system, which is called Universitas Terbuka, which simply means open university. We would like to see, in terms of the indicators, achievement, challenges, and its roles in open, distant, and online learning, particularly pioneering roles, because we have always been number one in terms of running the open, distant, and online learning system. Of course, it is in Indonesia. And we would like also to observe together the paradigm shift into online learning, something recent trends that is happening many places in the world. And then, of course, we would like to see what are the possible future directions in open, distant, and online learning. We have observed the terms and the trends nowadays. We started with correspondence learning, which is now, it's no longer that much used. But the term open and distant learning, people say ODL, has been very common for many, many years. And then there are other terms as well. Open learning, because it is open. The philosophy, it is open for everyone. And then there is distance learning. When we are talking about distance, it can be a geographical, physical, or transactional distance. And new technology has also introduced us with the term asynchronous learning, which does not have to be synchronous. It can be, in different time. And then blended learning, because there are possibility of using distance, open, face-to-face, online components. It can blend together to facilitate student learning. There was also, or there is still also, the term electronic learning, mobile learning with the use of mobile technology, and more generic term, it depends on which views, people also like to use the word online learning. Yes, they all complement each other, I think, and the synchronous learning. Synchronous can be mediated or face-to-face, depending on the particular conditions and needs of the students, etc. The more recent trend is that they use the introduction of the open educational resources, thanks to development in new technologies, in which knowledge resources can now be easily and even freely available for access for studies by the students or by interested individual to pursue higher learning or further learning. There is new trend as well called massive open and online learning courses or MOOCs. This has been implemented not only in open universities but also in traditional face-to-face universities. They are going online. The technology has allowed higher education institutions and systems, whether face-to-face, conventional, and distance, online, open universities, to offer those kind of programs called MOOCs and the use of OER to facilitate student learning. And these are the organizations. We have seen there is an international organization called International Council for Open and Distant Education. It was founded in 1938. So actually distant education has been running for many, many years. It's almost 100 years. And then according to the ICDE data, there are currently 190 institutional members, 70 countries, 6 continents covered, 40 languages used by the institutions, 15 million students, a lot of students internationally, and there are ICDE international and world conferences in which we can share our research finding, our experiences, our professional, we have contact with professionals in the field. And also the ICD also does quality reviews to ensure that we have quality up to the standard, international standard in the good practice of open distant learning. In Asia, there are institutions called the Asian Association of Open Universities, founded fairly recently, more recently than ICD, back in 1987, in which OUSL is a member, my university, Universitas Terbuka, is also a member, and there are currently 47 47 open universities as full members, plus 16 associate members. The AAOU runs annual conferences every year so that we can share our research finding, our professional experience in the forum. And there is also an exchange fellowship program in which I'm part of it, and it's an honor to be awarded OUSL Exchange Fellowship Program so that I can share, so I can learn as well. So we learn and we share from our experience. I will continue for the next slide. This is the history of open and distant learning. I take it from Boskert in 2019, fairly recent. We can see in terms of ages, let's call it the age one is correspondence, many years ago in the 19th century, and then the use of visual auditory. This is the age of open universities foundations. We can see here in terms of the age, correspondence transforming into visual auditory, and then nowadays into ICT based in the 90s. So in the early days, letter postal services are used to serve students, distant students, and then during the age 2, visual auditory is starting with broadcast and TV radio. Radio for education was very popular. In Indonesia, it was in the 1950s, we studied that. And also in Sri Lanka, I think there should be a use of radio. And then in the 1970s were the age of open universities. UK Open University was founded in the 1970, early in the 1971, they started to operate. And then OUSL in the 1980, and then even in Universitas Terbuka also in the 1984, later here. And then in the 80s, the age of teleconferences. And now, 1990s is the age of web. Now we have internet, we have online resources, open educational resources, in which other institutions also offer the massive open online courses. Okay. These are in terms of the generation of the open and distant learning system. We would like to see as well recent updates of educational technology in the past 20 years, 2 decades, the past 2 decades. We starting to have wikis in the 1988, and then e-learning, learning objects, e-learning standards, OER starting in 2002, fairly new, blogs, learning management system, LMS. Now we have something like Moodle that is used in Sri Lanka, OUSL also in Indonesia. The use of video broadcast online, and then Web 2.0, Second Life, so on, e-portfolios, Twitter, connectivism, personal learning environment, MOOCs, starting in 2012, open textbooks, learning analytics. This is how we can help support, observe, and improve, enhance the learning experience of students. Digital badges, return of artificial intelligence, blockchain, federalism, and it is will be continuously developed. We will see over the next years something new that will be introduced in the field of open, distance, and online learning. And this is specific experience of Indonesia. Actually, we began open education, distant education, through correspondent courses for our in-service teachers, using radio broadcast for education. That's quite sometimes, 60, 70 years ago. And then the Universitas Terbuka was founded in 1984 to accommodate high school graduate and everybody to pursue quality higher education. Open high school was fairly recently introduced, just 2001. It's just less than 20 years. And then in 2007, we developed a national education network, which is the ICT backbone that embraces a national education network throughout the country. And then MOOCs, worldwide, globally, it was introduced in 2012. We started to introduce it in 2014. We tried to experiment with MOOCs. And then this year, the government is planning for a National Institute for Cyber Higher Education. It planned to be implemented this year to accommodate learning needs of the students nationally and the opportunities for higher education institutions universities, not only open university, but also conventional universities to provide online courses through this national institute. We would like to give you some of the indicators of higher education in Indonesia. This gives us reasons why we do things the way we do. The context may be different, numbers may be different, but give us insight why we are moving into the direction because of the existing objective conditions of the country and the needs of the society, the people in which the country live. We have over 260 million people with 20 million more plus age in the college age of 2024. We have a total of 4,000 higher education institutions, public and private. We have 27,000 study programs, and there are 8 million students in the higher education system. And we have participation rate in higher education in 2018, according to the ministry data, is 32.5%, and the government wanted to become 50% of college age group of people, 18-24, participating in higher education. Can be conventional, can be through open universities. Hopefully it will be achieved in 2040. This is the challenge of human resource development in Indonesia. These are the indicators of ICT. It is give us some backgrounds why we are moving into the online directions, because of there are the technology, there are the needs of the people to use the technology for learning. I have mentioned the number here, the total 260 million, which is actually number 4 in the world, which is we contribute 3.49, almost 3.5% of the total world population. We are now moving towards an urban population, urbanized population, in which 150 millions or 56% of our population, they live in cities. It's moving from the villages. Actually, villages transform themselves to become cities, to a conglomeration of villages to become one major cities like that. The median age of population is 28 years. They are very active people because they are younger people. We have 300 million SIM cards. That means more people. There are more telephone numbers, mobile numbers, than the number of citizens. That in the mobility indicates the mobility of the people and the use of mobile technology. And then mobile subscription, one for every 100 is 173. And that means that 173% of the people own more than one mobile numbers like that. And Indonesians spend more than 3 hours every day on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, very popular. And then we have 130 million Facebook users, and they're very active in terms of social media, number 3 in the world actually. And then there are internet users, 143 millions, Instagram users, 60 millions, which is 22% of the population. Twitter user, smaller, 22 millions. Telephone user, 173 millions. And motorcycle ownership. It's very important to see the mobility of the people, to have access, and they have to go to the local study centers and so on. We have 120 millions. When we talk about Indonesia, then people have to go to study with the Open University. They must come to a certain day schools. In OUSL, we call it tutorial, face-to-face tutorial that are held in many cities in Indonesia. So that's the tool that they have the mobility to attend education. It is about the University, Open University of Indonesia, established in September. We will be 35 years this year. And then our purpose is to open access to quality higher education for high school graduates, working adults, in-service teachers, and virtually everybody can participate, take courses with the Open University. It is open in terms of admission for high school graduate. It is open in terms of mode of learning support, in terms of choice of media, and duration of study. Sorry. And then we have the tagline, making higher education open to all. That means everybody can attend higher education through the open university. And we try to bridge distance through flexible learning, and the university is now continuously transforming itself from open distance education institution into integrating more online learning activities to become a cyber university. This is following the direction of the Minister of Higher Education and Research and Technology. This is just to give you an idea, the complexity of managing a large open university system in Indonesia. Sorry, this is Sri Lanka is in here, so this is where we are now, and this is Indonesia. And we have 3 time zones, West, Middle, and East. We have 40 regional centers. If I give you the geography, the geographical distance, from the head office of the university here in Jakarta to Sri Lanka is 4 hours. It is the same, exactly the same as from here to the most eastern part of our regional center in Indonesia. This is 6,000 kilometers from west to east and about 3,000 kilometers from north to south. Yeah, and lots of water. There are 17,000 islands. People actually live in remote inland or in remote islands. It's very difficult to offer, to provide access to quality higher education. But we try to make things happen to help them have easier access, more flexible access to higher education. And this, some of the indicators of the university. I have reviewed some information that we have 4 faculty, we have 38 program, 7 master and 2 doctoral, we have 30 undergraduate program, we have 1,000 courses, we have a head office of course, and we have 39 regional office plus 1 regional office specifically dedicated to students living outside the country or overseas. We have a very rigid quality assurance system in which there are internal quality assurance system. We use the ISO for the quality management system, ISO 9001, 2015 I think. And then we use the ICDE quality assurance, quality review to make sure that we meet international quality standards for distance education. And of course, nationally, we follow the National Accreditation Board for Higher Education to undertake the institutional review of our program, institutional accreditation, and study program accreditation. And some of the indicators of our students, 300,000 students, that means 10% of the total state university students in Indonesia. Well, OUSL is certainly bigger because they accommodate 30% of the total higher education population. And then there are 250,000 students opt for face-to-face tutorials or day school, as you call it here in the US, OUSL. And then 100,000 students participating in our online tutorials because all of 1,000 courses are supported with online tutorial. That means that this is an interesting data. Still only 1/3 of the student numbers, but there are trends of increasing numbers from year to year. So from this year, this is the data for last year, and certainly for 2019, it's increasing. It's been increasing. In terms of, these are the student head counts, and this is the number of courses. So actually, of the 100,000 students, a total of 577,000 student courses attend the online tutorial. And then we have 30,000 students taking online exam. And in terms of the profile of a student, 92% employed and only 8% or 25,000 are unemployed. We have good gender, 67%, nearly 200,000 are female students, and we have students graduating every year about 40,000 to 50,000. Of course, This is because we have a large number of students and we have a very large number of populations to serve. In total, we have graduated more than 1.7 million alumni, people with degrees and diplomas from the open universities. Nearly 1 million, we have 900,000, 54% are diploma graduates, and then 700,000 are bachelor graduate, and 3,000 are master graduate. Of course, we have student activities, national, international, soft skills, hard skills, competition, and so on, to make sure that they become a better student, better professionals when they graduate. In terms of teaching and learning, we use blended online distance learning. We have new student and development of distance learning skills in the beginning as new student. Learning material are self-instructional, make sure they facilitate learning, and then learning support through online tutorial, face-to-face and practice and practicum. And then there are 3 assignments, whether in face-to-face or online. And then there are use of practicum guidelines, dry lab, wet lab in partnership with other institutions. And there are remediation, intervention, academic counseling, learning clinics for students with difficulties can be done online or face-to-face. And then thesis supervision for master and doctoral student, and online access to various resources, digital library, dry lab, self-exercises, OER, video, UT radio, UT television, and contact center. And these are the indicators of teaching and learning. We have student admission all year long, course registration every semester. We give students both printed and digital format for the learning materials. Then they have access to library. They have face-to-face tutorial when they need it, 8 sessions and weekends. Online tutorial, although 8 sessions in 8 weeks. All 1,000 courses provided with online tutorials. We use online learning platform Moodle 3.5. We try to update the Moodle up to the latest whenever it is possible. So, in terms of assessment of student learning, we have exercises, formative tests, students do the tests and so on with self-assessment, guides and learning materials. There are 3 assignments, assignments, interactivity, participation in tutorial, contributing up to 30% online and 50% face-to-face to the final grade for the course. And then semester exam is paper-based, while online exam is additional service upon request, student must register. And then final comprehensive exam at the end of, towards the end of the program, and scientific paper submitted before the end of the program as part of the fulfillment of the requirement of the degree program, and then thesis exam for master and doctoral students. And this is the operational system. We start with admission of new students, conducted all year long in office or online, document submitted, admitted, and student will be provided with Microsoft Office 365. It's a legal proprietary software provided by Microsoft, and then they will attend new student orientation and distance learning skills workshop. This is only once in a lifetime, and then student will continue with course registration. That has to be done every semester. The different fee structure depending on the services and study programs, flexibility in choosing courses and kinds of services and media. There are package courses per semester or individual unpacked courses. It's up to the student. How many courses, the number of courses that they take, it's up to the student. The learning materials, as I earlier described, printed delivered to students via mail, and then digital in 2 format, push to email. Can be in mobile, can be in notebook or desktop. And then access to digital library, and then access to the UTOER, like the internet TV, internet radio, and then learning support. We have online face-to-face tutorial, supervised practice and practicums, enrichment of learning material through uses of OER and MOOCs, and then assignments, practice, practicum reports, online discussion forums, contact center. Assessment is done every semester. We call it semester exam. It is a paper-based exam. It can be essay or multiple choice, can be practice or practicum report, can also be in online exam upon request. If they need flexibility, they can register for online exam. And then can be oral and portfolio assessment depending on the courses and the programs. And then thesis exam at the end of the program. And then the graduation convocation every semester. 6 convocation per year in head office. 2 to 4 convocation per year in regional office. And top 2,500 graduates invited to attend the convocation graduation in head office. We can, this is the indicator of resources. We are very efficient universities. We only have 2,000 staff, only 600 academic staff, but we have to, in total, including the contract staff, we have 2,000. But we rely on our partner institution, partner universities, partner educational institution, partner practitioners. In our database, we have 15,000 face-to-face tutors because the ratio 1 to 30 per class. And then online tutors, we have 5,000 online tutors following the ratio of 1 to 50 online class. And then exam proctors, we have 30,000 exam proctors, 1 to 20 proctors per class for each exam. And then we have 400 curriculum developers, 3,000 course authors, 3,000 test item writers. They are all from established universities. They are senior academics who work with us, and they are very happy. We employ them based on certain duties and contracts for the purpose of specific teaching and learning services that we provide to our distant students in various locations. We have ISO 9001 quality auditors, up to 200. We have to make sure that even the industrial aspects of our operation need quality assurance. Also the academic with external review by the National Accreditation Board and also the International Council for Open and Distance Education. We also have strong peer reviews in terms of curriculum development, course writing and test item writing with institutions from different universities. We have practice supervisor, practicum supervisor, all in regional offices, and of course we provide contact center for students to if they will need any things to address. This is the terms of modes of learning support. Actually, all students will get these services, whether they follow the learning support of full distance learning, blended distance and online learning, or fully face-to-face tutorial support, or fully online learning support. All of them will get these services: printed learning materials delivered to students, digital learning material and 2 gadgets, online tutorials for all courses without face-to-face tutorial for 8 weeks, and then paper-based semester exam in 500 cities in 35 overseas countries. Other services upon request and with additional fees, or other fee structures such as face-to-face tutorial and online exam. We can give you an elaboration here. For the particular student taking distance learning without any particular support, they have the additional service, independent and self-directed learning materials. They package courses packaged in 6-7 courses or 18 to 21 credits per semester, or maximum 1 course 2 to 4 credits, or minimum 1 course, maximum 7-8 courses 24 credits. The fee is 100. It's about that. 100. You can say $1 or something calculated per course. If the student need additional 3 courses provided with face-to-face tutorial in 8 sessions in weekends, they take online tutorial for 8 weeks for the remaining 3-4 courses, and then the package course is 6-7 courses, 18-21 per semester, and then the fee is 150 because they need more service. We provide more service. And then for students that require fully face-to-face tutorial support, package courses, only 1 courses are provided with online tutorial to enrich, to make sure that they have online learning experience. But all courses will be provided with face-to-face tutorial, 8 sessions in weekends, just like day schools in OUSL. And the fee is double, twice as the fully distant learning courses. And then for the fully online courses, the fee is 150. It's less cheap cheaper than the full-time face-to-face, because less resources are used for the fully face-to-face tutorial. For these fully online learning students, they take online exam for all courses, and then they have semester package, 6 to 7 courses per semester, 18 or similar, equal to 18 to 21 credits per semester, and this is the fee. What else? This contact. We provide contact and communication through various means. Can be peer group, study program contact center, can be via email, mail, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, fax, telephone visit. Everyone we address their needs. Open access to online learning resources. Can be staff visits to the center, tutorial, practice, practicum location. Start student visit to regional office. We will address their need as well. Also interaction with tutor during face-to-face tutorial. And then we put quality assurance as a priority. We try to establish a quality work culture as a shared responsibility. We focus on preventive action and continuous improvement to make sure that quality continuously be improved. We have internal mechanism and assessment coordinated by the Quality Assurance Center, and of course external quality assessment is important. We can have ISO certification for quality management system. We also have ISO for information technology security system, because we rely more and more on the online services for teaching and learning and administrative services and our internal management. We also have quality assurance for data center management, and we have institutional and study program accreditation by the National Board for Higher Education Accreditation, and we have quality review every 3 years by the International Council for Open and Distance Education. And then, this is the future direction from the minister. We need to have more students, 2, 3, 5 millions, because our students need more services. Our people need more higher education, and the government have a target that 50% of the population attend higher education. We would like, the minister would like us to be a pioneering leading cyber university in Indonesia that provide online courses for students from other universities, and then to be active in the establishment of a National Institute for Cyber Higher Education to provide online learning courses. And the minister would like the UT to be an autonomous state university as a pioneer in cyber university education in Indonesia. This is a student page of our website. Some of the pictures of our universities. This is the logo, the regional office and the head office, and then the guest house, and then what else? This is admin building, the graduation, the training building, student with special needs graduating from our universities, and then references to look at. We can check and explore the data. Thank you for attending this presentation. Questions, comments are welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Amanuddin Suheri. So very informative session. So we have a lot of to learn, because just been 20 plus million population in Sri Lanka and 266 million population in Indonesia. The way you handle open and distance learning, some of the things like dry labs are quite new to us. So I'm sure, I think from here onward, so I invite Dr. Karthikeyan to chair the session. So there will be few questions from our audience, and even Dr. Karthikeyan, you can start the discussion session. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Dr. Priyadarshana. So thank you very much, Dr. Amivain, for your interesting as well as enlightening presentation. And so to start with, I thought of initiating the discussion with a few questions. In the ODL system, dropout is the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
How you or your institution manage this challenge?
Yeah.
Could you please elaborate a little bit on that?
Thank you, Dr. Karthi. This is ODL's retention, dropout is actually is a challenge for every open universities. we have been working hard to prevent students from dropout. So we try to give them orientation right from the beginning, such as once they register with us, we provide them with the new student orientation, and then the development of distant learning skills and independent study skills. That is the basic. So they have to attend 2 full days sessions to give them the proper tools and equipment to continue with the distant, very hard and challenging distant study systems. But then we also give them various learning support. Like as you said, if they would like to go online fully online, you can go online. If they need face-to-face support, we provide them with the face-to-face tutorial in weekends. Only 8 sessions, that means 8 weekends. And all of the tutorial support must finish 2 weeks before the semester exam. And then, of course, we also give them liberty, whether to take 1 or 2 courses, several courses, or they take a course package, like 6-7 courses per year to accomplish the program in exactly 4 years, sometimes extend to 5 years and so on. This is what the things that we try to do. But of course, we still suffer, because as many open universities also, because students maybe would like to have some flexibility. We are so open that we don't consider them as dropout. Maybe they just
so they have their own time.
Yeah, they have their own time, and we don't punish them. Yeah, this is we don't limit them. You have to finish in certain years. No, but this is also, there is a question for the government in terms of the productivity. That is the prevention that we try to make. We have a student graduating after, even when the university began operation in the 1980s. Of course, it is not mainstream. 1 or 2 have done so, and they must follow the final curriculum exist when they graduate. That's where we try to have things with the student and give them flexibility.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. It is interesting to note that your system allows the students to choose different learner support services.
Yes.
Of course, for a different fee payment, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can you please relate this, obtaining these different services to the completion rate, successfully completion rate?
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Our students are diverse. Some of them have easy access to new technology. Some of them have easy access to more conventional, like face-to-face tutorials. But so we try to meet the student needs to make sure that they can learn. You have been asking about how. Actually, the fee structure is different for each program, depending on the program. So, because they need different support, of course, when we run an online, fully online tutorials, that is, in terms of cost, it is, of course, it's less than when we run to the face-to-face tutorial. We have the face-to-face tutorials, we add some extra, right? We need to organize for the place. We need to organize for the tutors. We need to organize for the facilitator, the administrators, to make sure that the tutorial get going. So we give them freedom, flexibility in whatever kinds of tools or media on services that are easily accessible and doable by them and also by the institution. The institutional research that have been conducted in our universities indicate that when students fully attend, whatever kinds of learning support, such as tutorials and online, they have higher success rate than those who do not attend any kind of learning support. We see a lot more number of students with full-time face-to-face tutorials for all courses, because they are serious, right? Because they pay more, because they are motivated to study. They study more and they spend more time in their study, they work on assignment, they do lots of reading and so on. And then they graduate. They graduate faster according to the time set by the university. compared to those who are easier. But maybe it is their students' choice actually, because many students, have lot of activities, professional, social, etc. So they do not like to be, bound in certain restrictions such as face-to-face tutorial or online tutorial. They just abort that. They don't use the services and they study online. Of course, it's very hard for them, and some of them are still okay, still graduate also. So,
but I think they may be taking more time.
Yeah, of course, they take more time because of their own restrictions anyway.
So, briefly, I think you are saying that those who choose the face-to-face learner support facility graduate quicker.
Actually, what I'm trying to say, those who follow the student support, depending on the kind of, and of course, we use the fact that face-to-face are choices for many students. Only 1/3 of students using online support, right?
Okay.
And 200,000 compared to 100,000. Of course, we have greater number in the face-to-face tutorial support than the online support.
Okay. So now, when you offer the face-to-face facility, and it's of course the student's choice.
Yes.
When there's a large demand, you have very small number of staff. Relatively. And how do you manage? Actually, there are two things. One is you have to maybe outsource it, and you have to hire staff from outside. From where you get all these resources, number one. And number two, how do you maintain the quality of delivery?
Thank you. Those are very important aspects, quality. Those are also important question regarding to the resources. We only have 600 academic staff, but we have to teach 300,000 students. So all we have to do is to establish good partnerships with the existing higher education institutions, public, private. Some also practitioners, depending on the subjects and the programs. They are all very happy to work with us. Even the lecturers of the established university are very happy because they have the opportunities to share and learn as well from the adult students. They are preferred there. Our students are 95% adults. They work. Yeah, they are working people. So they learn. So the lecturers are happy. They learn as well from the professionals. So we establish good partnership, and we give them compensation to work with us, and they are happy because they are sent out to locations that they have never been before. So the face-to-face, the lecturer from the face-to-face universities, they teach in the classroom in their own institution. But with the Open University, we go to cities, virtually major cities in Indonesia. We have over 500 to 600 cities as location for face-to-face tutorials and paper-based exams. That means virtually every region in Indonesia accessible by students and by the tutors. Of course, we have conducted serious preparation and training for our partner tutors from the partner institution and universities. New tutors are trained 5 days full week. They become master tutors. Some good people become our master tutors. And then every semester we have to refresh them, just in case they have new things, new developments, new requirement for the course, for the programs, like we have new learning materials introduced, new media are used, and so forth. And then we have continuous training like that, continuous evaluation, monitoring. We, as academic staff, monitor the performances of the tutors. The regional office also conduct the monitoring. The students at the end of the sessions, of the 8-week sessions, in weekends, students are also asked to give assessment or the performance of the tutors, whether they are helping, whether they can help the student or not, whether they facilitate student learning, whether they set good examples, whether they come on time or not. All those instruments are used to make sure that the quality, certain quality criteria can be met by the tutors and by our institution in terms of the teaching and learning services. That's how we try to do to organize the system, Dr. Karthi.
Oh, I understand. I think you have a very effective system in place to maintain the quality. I think from the audience, they also like to ask a few questions.
Okay, I just ask one thing I have noticed is you have 266 million population.
Yes.
I think half of them use Facebook.
Yes.
So they are in Facebook and of course in other social media as well. So I just wanted to ask, how do you use this social media in your open and distance education?
Yeah, we use it for many aspects. Sometimes we share with them enrichment materials. This is very open, of course, and it is cannot be related to. This is also related by the program and the tutors, but mostly it's for promotion and for communication. Student would like to know the exact location of the exam, exact location of the tutorial, the timetable, and so on. Sometimes they have problem with something. They just ask through our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram. They just ask through contact center, and the people in the contact center, either in regional office or the head office, will soon address this question. Sometimes the public would like to know something about the university. They write down on the page of the Facebook or Instagram and everything, we respond. But this is how we organize. But for teaching and learning, mostly through the face-to-face tutorial or online tutorial for the enrichment to use the OER like that. Sometimes we publish those public things that can publicly share, we can put it online. But there are lots of updates of information that students can follow. So they keep updated about news about the university, its development, like say the changing of schedule like that, the submission of assignment like that. Student can still, many students use that as well. And of course promotion like that. Thank you, Dr. Tusara.
Any other?
Is there a common language to teach this one, or in Sri Lanka, similar Tamil and the
English?
Diploma level?
Yeah. Yes, sir. That's a very good question. I understand here you have three languages. We only have one language. That is one national language. We call it Bahasa Indonesia. Bahasa means language. Indonesia is the name of the language. Bahasa Indonesia. We only use Bahasa Indonesia as a formal means of communication. So all document, medium of instruction, only in Bahasa Indonesia. But of course, as professionals, they can speak English. But the public in general, they speak only Bahasa Indonesia, and the ethnic, the mother tongue is the local ethnic languages. Those are actually the spoken language, not written that much actually. But Bahasa is common. Everyone speaks Bahasa because they use it in schools, and all my materials, our learning materials, and all the tutorials, face-to-face, online, we use Bahasa Indonesia. We use English in certain courses, like we have the English language program. Of course, it uses English, and we have the information system program. We use English as well because the English is the universal language for the information system or computer. Some business courses, a few actually, use English at the graduate level, but basically Bahasa Indonesia is used. Yes, sir.
So any other questions? I think we have some of our students.
Yes,
one question regarding graduate attributes where the students or someone's getting graduated. So we basically focus on what are the attributes he conquered during his study. So sometimes what will happen is in the traditional university and the open university, so you have equal opportunity in the industry. So sometimes you will get in comparison, like when you get the, for example, local universities which we have the face-to-face learning, so students get more opportunity usually in terms of, actually I'm talking about in terms of technology or engineering phenomena.
Yeah.
But sometimes you will not get the equal opportunity in the industry.
Yeah.
So what about the open universities in Indonesia?
Oh, yeah. Historically, it was like that because the people don't know what is open distance learning, what is an open university. But in the past years, I think about 10, 20 years, 10 years particularly, There is no problem with that. Employers like Open University graduates because they are independent. There is a selection in the civil service. Well, as long as they meet the requirement, right? Like the grade point average, the duration of, they have certain criteria, grade point average particularly. They follow a certain test and they pass the test, okay, no problem. Some ministries prefer our graduate than the graduate of the traditional universities because we call a lot of people call our university as a difficult university. It's very easy to get admitted because it's an open entry, right? It's open admission. Everyone with high school graduate, even high school certificates, are automatically admitted if they apply. Even somebody with no certificates can apply through our loose courses and then get credit transfer. So they have to work hard to study, and then when they graduate, they become very competent individuals. And now there is not quite an issue nowadays for the graduates of the Open University in Indonesia.
So, any question?
As foreigners, if I do your graduate course in your Open University, should I learn in your language or in common language?
Yeah, actually everyone can apply, but you must use, as long as you understand our Bahasa Indonesia, it's okay. We have an Egyptian, we have Malaysians, lots of Malaysian people join our programs. As far as foreigner that I know of, because he just attended a graduation in the head office. There is an Egyptian who's, of course, he's an Egyptian who speaks Arabic, right? But he's married to an Indonesian, so he speaks Bahasa Indonesia. He is smart, but he takes the English course. So of course he uses English. He passed. He graduated with our degree in English. I don't know if he tried to in Bahasa Indonesia. That will be too difficult, except for Malaysian people. Yeah, and some people in the southern Philippines that share common language. Malaysia, Brunei, southern Philippines, and some area in southern Thailand. I think they speak in Malaysia they call it Malay language. In our case we call it Bahasa Indonesia, Indonesian language. The same origin, I think, the same linguistic family. Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, one last question. Dr. Amin, I think you have served as a Deputy Vice Chancellor for 8 years, and you manage mostly the operational divisions at your university
Yes.
during this period.
Yes, sir.
And you are here at OUSL for about 4 weeks and observing our activities at the main campus as well as a few regional centers. So can you please tell us what are the strengths we have and what are the areas we can improve?
It's a short question, but I try to respond that. Every open university is unique because it has to address the needs of its society, right? Because Indonesia, we address the needs of a large number of people. We do it that way. And OUSL also has to address the needs of the Sri Lanka society, right? And which is certainly a specific needs, and it is unique with the resources that are available here. And but I have seen Sri Lanka is I think it's one of the excellent open university in the world. You have programs in engineering, hard sciences, where academics are deeply involved with providing the services to the students. That are some of the strengths of the universities. I observe programs here, study programs at the OUSL. They have large-scale labs, either in head office, in regional offices, in which staff can do research, postgraduate students do research, also student and learn, facilitated by staff in the labs of. Those are a great strength of the OUSL. But we have to, in Indonesia, we have to manage in different ways. We cannot afford to have labs because for an Indonesian citizen to come to head office is a 4-hour flight. It's a big distance. It's just like you fly from Colombo to Jakarta for the people of Jayapura to come to Colombo. And even for our student, coming to the regional office is a big job. Some of them have to travel on boat, can be 2 nights at the sea. I can't imagine what can we do with 1 night, 2 nights above the sea, because must be no communication, right? You go there, it's just, you be there and you do nothing, except maybe you read the learning material, printed learning materials. So no connection, no internet, no nothing. From inland, still difficult. That is why we establish a system that fits to the needs of the society and the context in which the university exists like that. But I think OUSL has certain strength, but we will certainly learn from that, and we do it whenever it is doable in our context. And also, Universitas Terbuka also share some that we can do that perhaps may be relevant to the needs of the OUSL. But we've been working hard to improve our online learning system, because now everybody is doing online, not only the Open University, but I think even the traditional universities, they offer programs fully online. They are traditional universities, basically a face-to-face university. But I think OUSL has also done lots of work on that, striving to be more online, because I think it is going to be the future of higher education, not only for the face-to-face higher education system, but also including the online, the Open University. They must go online. Even the conventional system now going online.
Yeah,
That's
I
my
think we
view.
have to adapt to the latest technologies available,
Yes.
make use of them.
Yes,
Then
yes.
only we can survive. Right?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
So I think with that we can conclude this session. And Dr. Amin, thank you very much for your presence here and valuable time and sharing your knowledge with us.
My pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.